And once again, good afternoon po sa lahat. I hope everyone's doing good this afternoon. Welcome to another webinar with Erudite Reliability Services, OPC. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Patricia, and before we jump into our session, I'd like to take a moment to hope that everyone is safe and well with the recent earthquakes and outbreaks. We'd like to remind and encourage everyone to take extra caution and care during these times. So allow me to introduce Erudite for a bit. We are committed to empowering engineers and organizations with industry leading asset performance management solutions. We focus on providing high quality training, consulting services, and insights to help businesses achieve operational excellence. Additionally, we believe in sharing knowledge beyond live sessions. So, our past webinars, including in depth discussions on renewable energy, asset reliability, performance optimization, and shutdown turnaround and outages are available on our official YouTube channel. So this is our 17th webinar. So if you have missed the others, you can go check our YouTube channel for the replays and subscribe for more. All right, so let's go right ahead to our topic for today, leadership in maintenance, building effective leadership and maintenance teams. This webinar explores the vital role of leadership and developing and growing maintenance organizations, highlighting how strong leadership enhances plant reliability and fosters a proactive maintenance culture. It also serves as a preview of our upcoming masterclass on maintenance management scheduled this November. So, to walk us through to today's topic, our speaker for today brings over 25 years of experience in the oil and gas industry. He has served in key leadership roles, including regional procurement manager for Asia and Australia, maintenance manager at Shell, vice president of operations at Total, and chief operating officer at Light Rail Manila Corporation, also heading the technical services department. Beyond his corporate experience, he is also an instructor at the University of Santo Tomas and the Asian Institute of Management. Outside of work, he is a proud father of two kids and four dogs. So please join me in welcoming our speaker for today, Mr. Rolando or Dondi Paulino III. Yan. Sir Dondi?
Hello, everyone. So thank you
Yeah.
for the nice introduction. Um, so we'll start our webinar now. I'll just share my slides, then let's get it rolling. Yeah. Okay, so today I want to talk to you about leadership in maintenance. It's leadership is among us technical people is something that hasn't been discussed in, or it has been discussed in a lot of forums, but has really been something that has been trained for, and sometimes it's not, it's often neglected during the selection process of leaders, no, or of people who are doing maintenance. A big part of our when I was working in the plant, a big part of our selection criteria was experience and the technical capability. But leadership hasn't been explored as why do we need leadership in the context of a maintenance organization, aside from being a, a technical organization. It's also a leadership organization, especially in the field of maintenance execution. So, So as mentioned, I'll not introduce myself, but I'd like you to look at my picture because the photographer did a very good job. Before we start, I would like to take a poll on Mentimeter. You could scan the QR code. There are two questions there. Which area of maintenance leadership do you find most challenging? We would like to understand how it's a multiple choice question. So you just have to log on to Mentimeter, scan the QR code, or go to the poll number of Mentimeter and see um, and provide your responses. The second question, if there's one thing you can improve in your maintenance organization, what would it be? Okay, so let's see if there are responses. See? So, uh, okay. Based on the responses, about 45% of you are having difficulty with team management. 17% are having difficulty with budgeting. Surprisingly, safety compliance was not an issue. Technology adoption is about 17% and scheduling is 23%. So um, the the mentee, actually the survey tells us that 30 a significant part is having difficulty with with team management. Is a symptom of a not necessarily a lack of leadership, but a symptom of leadership that needs to be addressed. Um, you are probably good leaders, but there's probably something missing in your organization or in your team that is we could address. And hopefully, this session would help you bring light to you the gaps that you may see, or you may attend a master class later so that um, we could do on a workshop and diagnose your problem more more do a more in-depth diagnosis of your problem. Okay. The next question is, if there's one thing you can improve in your maintenance organization, what would it be? This is a free board, so anybody who could could give a comment, then we'll see how it's going to how people would respond. Career succession, okay. Usually career succession comes up. I think your problem is the lack of a skill pipeline, no? Manpower upskilling, okay. Competency and spare parts management, okay. Manpower upskilling is similar to career succession when you don't have sufficient pipeline to succeed your leaders, for leaders, or your technicians are running thin on competencies. Spare parts management, parts obsolescence. Okay, that's a common problem with maintenance. Okay, technology upgrade. That's a challenge. Similar to parts obsolescence, standard tools and equipment, and project management skills. Energy consumption. Oh, wow. Okay. AI integration. Oh, that's where we're getting more advanced in the discussion, no? AI integration. Uh, okay. Upper management support. So that's part of leadership. If you don't have upper management support, then your maintenance organization will not be able to uh, sustain and improve its performance. Okay, let's move on. Data analysis and visualization. Yan, use of renewable energy, quality control, and let's wait for the last one, if there is. So some of these are leadership issues. Most of the problems can be influenced by leadership. So let's talk about later. Let's talk about the issues on how can people build and help leaders uh, help you build your leadership skills, and perhaps see what we can do to help you as well. So I encourage you to ask questions through the chat room so that we could have a good conversation. No? Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay. So let's talk about the role of leadership and in maintenance. So a lot of you has mentioned leadership issues like mass resignations, upskilling, succession planning. One of the big part of the poll is about team building and management. So let's discuss first why leadership matters in maintenance. Uh, the management versus leadership in technical teams, and um, what makes a great leader. No, it's not necessarily a case study of strong versus weak leadership, but what makes a I'll show you a video of uh, what makes a great leader. Okay, so there are three things that drives leadership in leadership, why leadership matters in maintenance. One is direction and accountability. So a workforce, usually a plant would have a workforce of about 300 maintenance people, including contractors and their direct, I would say. When I was a maintenance manager, I had a workforce of about between 400 to 500 at any given time. Um, those people, a lot of people that could compose of a small barangay, would require direction and accountability, clear goals, standards, and a lot of herding, that I would say herding, so that they would follow and make sure that you achieve your goal as a maintenance organization or as a plant, as a business organization. The second point of why leadership is important in maintenance is about motivation and culture. Leaders influence team morale. They develop culture. They develop their own culture, depending on their leadership style. If you're autocratic, democratic, or if you're a supportive leader, if you're a dictator, your organization would shape its own will shape its own culture, and of course its motivational levels. No, so so it's about motivation and culture. And the third is about strategic decision making. No, it's not only that it's about motivating people. Leadership is not about that. It's about making decisions, choices for the good of the organization and mainly for the business and also for the people. Um, I would tell you that it's always has been a dilemma uh, of mine when I was in the plant of whether or not uh, which portion is to prioritize. Is it the business portion, or is it the side of the business that moves around more on people rather than on the business. And finding that balance, while we say it's balance, is a difficult task. And you go back to your values as a person or your values as a leader. And of course, making that decision is not always easy. Okay. So let's differentiate first before we move on further into any discussion. Let's differentiate first management versus leadership in technical teams. The management focuses on processes, efficiency, and structure. Leadership focuses on people, vision, and innovation. Um, Management ensures deadlines, resources, and compliance. Leadership inspires, motivates, and empowers. Um, Management is short to medium term. Leadership is about long-term orientation. Authority through roles, influence through trust and coaching. In technical teams, uh, stand management is about coding standards, testing and documentation, and it in leadership it's about innovation, adaptability, and culture. So you don't need to be what this slide is telling us is you don't have to be a manager to be a leader, and you don't have to be a leader to be a manager. So uh, it's anybody who can give people a vision, a way of innovation, inspire, motivates, and empowers can be a leader by them own selves. Even the supervisor, who is probably or the foreman, or even the worker who's in your maintenance team, can be a leader, provided that he or she can make people follow. While management, we are bounded by formal titles, formal titles that are allowing us to exercise our role with authority. Leadership is more of inspiring, uh, influencing, and uh, inspiring, influencing, and uh, providing vision to the people and empowerment to its people. Okay. So let me give you a 3-minute video of Simon Sinek. I think you know him a lot. A lot of people know him. And he will talk about what great leaders are, no? Okay.
Leadership is perhaps one of the most misunderstood subjects in business. Leadership has nothing to do with rank. I know many people who sit at the highest levels of an organization who are not leaders. We do as they tell us because they have authority over us, but we do not trust them and we do not follow them. I also know people at low levels of organizations that have no formal authority, but they've made a choice. The choice to look after the person to the left of them, the choice to look after the person to the right of them, and we would trust them and follow them anywhere. Leadership is the awesome responsibility to see those around us rise. Every one of us, can choose to be the leader we wish we had. We lead our teams and we can lead our clients when we decide that we will do everything in our power to see them rise, to see them achieve their ambitions and their dreams. And this is what servant leadership means. I serve your dream. rather than you serve my bottom line. And it's totally fine to have financial goals. It's totally fine to have metrics, because that becomes the proof of value that somebody wants to give you their money because they believe in you. It is proof positive. But the best leaders I know are students of leadership. There's no such thing as an expert leader. It doesn't exist. Like there's no such thing as an expert parent. It doesn't exist. Right? We are students of leadership. And even the most senior leaders constantly are reading books, reading articles, watching talks, having conversations all the time about leadership. They're always in learning mode. And I think for anyone who wants to be a leader, you have to choose to be a student of the subject. Like anything, if you want to be good at something, you have to study it. And the most ignored characteristic of leadership, we talk about vision and charisma. Yes, these are important. But I've known some wonderful leaders who don't have huge world-changing vision. I've known some wonderful leaders that are quiet and sit in the corner, but they all have courage. The courage to advance a vision, the courage to ignore the short-term ups and downs of the business, the courage to take risks on people, the courage to believe in people, the courage to speak truth to power, the courage to do the right thing and have integrity. I think courage is a very undervalued characteristic of leadership.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for watching. If you will refer back to the video, there are three things that Simon has discussed. One is leaders need not formal titles to be leaders. If you take care of your people, people on your left or people on your side in your organization, on your right side, you can be considered a leader. The second point that he has mentioned is one, there are no expert leaders in the organization. And most of it was, and what he's telling us is, all great leaders continue to study and look into, uh, continue to improve themselves, have conversations, read books, watch shows to help themselves improve. Okay. And one of the greatest values that leaders hold are courage, is courage. And courage allows leaders to make difficult decisions. And of course, it allows them to ignore certain things to make sure that you look at the long term and you ensure that you exercise the value of leadership properly. Okay, so thank you very much. So,
Leadership is
okay. So, being in let's go back to being in maintenance. Maintenance has four core leadership competencies, I would say, no. One is communication. You need to be able to be a good communicator in order to be a good maintenance leader. The second is decision making under pressure. For people who are on the front lines, this is something very important, that your leader is cool and collected during uh, times that are you're the organization is under pressure. For example, if your plant is on a unplanned shutdown, decision making under pressure is one of the more important leadership traits, the competencies that you need to have. No, um, accountability and ownership of results, and of course, we all know that leaders would stand up when questioned about their decisions. and own it whether or not if the team is successful. Leadership, uh, rather, leaders own the results when the team is not successful, and they give the results when the team is successful. They give credit to the team. And of course, the last one is leading through data, um, analyzing their KPIs, your mean time to repair, your mean time between failure, the availability of your plant. So four competencies that makes a maintenance leader uh, effective in his job. Okay. So in building high performance teams, um, leaders do four things as well, no? Um, the first one is you create a culture of safety and reliability. If your team is not safe, it wouldn't be reliable. So actually, it's creating a culture of safety is paramount to being to have a good team, to have a good team as a to have a good team in maintenance. Second one is motivating technicians and driving continuous improvement. Why is motivation direct, connected to continuous improvement? Is that motivating technicians, continuous improvement lies from the technicians being able to do things on their own, improve things on their own, even the small improvements. It lies upon their own initiative to make things work. Then training, mentoring, and knowledge transfer. And of course, lastly, is more common to maintenance organizations is conflict resolution in multi-skilled teams. Having multi-skilled teams creates overlaps between responsibilities, and which I think maintenance leaders would have a hard time. While this is a good problem, also has a hard time in resolving conflict resolution in multi-skilled teams. Okay, so let's tackle each point. Let's see how things would connect to each other. Okay. Okay. So creating a culture of safety and reliability in maintenance talks about commitment, uh, clear standards and process, workforce engagement, and data-driven reliability, and reinforcement and recognition. Um, One of the things that needs to be clear with leaders is that the culture doesn't happen overnight. Cultures take time to grow, and it cultures only develop when you put a stimulus into it. Uh, I mean, rather, let me repeat that. Positive cultures develop when you put a positive stimulus to it. A culture will develop regardless of whatever you do. The only problem is it may be a culture of negativity where people are skeptic in their work or uh, in their in their actions or in their behavior, rather, but a culture of a positive mindset, a positive culture takes a lot of work. And as you've seen here, the elements of having a positive culture of safety and reliability is about commitment, standards, workforce engagement, and data-driven reliability, and of course, reinforcement and recognition. No, celebrating the people and making the people the center of the initiative rather than the plant. Okay. The second one is about motivating technicians and driving continuous improvement. Why motivate and CI matter? The first one is it boosts boosts reliability and asset uptime. Small corrections, fixing the leak on their own, um, improving small fittings and small contraptions uh, that would make that would make the plant better, run better, and save the company some money is a important part of maintenance leadership. Then it improves safety and work quality. Then it increases retention and skills growth. When what I have seen in my experience is that if you have a small group of people who does Kaizen work or Lean Six Sigma, they learn a lot more. Aside from fixing a problem, they discover a lot of things that they don't know before because of the process of research, data gathering, identifying the problem, and all that. That 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 provides skills growth. And also, if it provides job satisfaction for you being able to contribute to the betterment of the company. Then um, the fourth advantage of motivation and CI is it transforms maintenance into a strategic advantage. Um, a lot of organizations view maintenance as a cost center. Um, uh, it's it's something that has to be done. It just has to be there. But making it as a strategic advantage, being able to respond to uh, crisis, being able to prevent crisis, makes maintenance a strategic advantage, no? Okay. The third aspect of building high performance teams is about motivating maintenance technicians, no? It's about recognition and appreciation of contributions, ongoing skills development and training, clear career growth and pathways, empowerment in decision making and ideas, and safe, well-resourced environment. Um, One of the things that I've seen in my experience as a maintenance manager in the refinery is that um, um, the salary doesn't while the salary matters, it gets them in the door, as people say, it gets them in the door. It allows them to work, sustain their families, but the the other aspects of recognition, development, pathways, empowerment, allows them to stay in the organization and appreciate what the organization can give them. If you don't allow, if you cannot motivate people mainly on salary alone, on money, you have to motivate people uh, on based on uh, based on the um, non-salary factors, no, that I would say are necessary for people to thrive and be and feel to be accepted in the organization. Okay. So how do you drive maintenance? How do you motivate people and drive continuous improvement? One is engaging frontline in problem solving, adapting lean Kaizen and RCM practices. I think some people know that here. Measure and share KPIs, cross-functional collaboration, and celebrating quick wins to build momentum. And the leadership's roles, um, is modeling motivation and CI behaviors. You cannot give what you don't have, so you have to be motivated as well. Providing resource tools and safe conditions. Fostering recognition and success sharing. So, um, as I mentioned earlier, the maintenance leader owns up if things don't go well. But if things go well, he should give credit to his team rather than to himself, no? Being able to, because his team was the one who delivered, and the leader only owns up when things don't go well. And then balance accountability with coaching. I would like to clarify here that accountability is not about punishment. Accountability is about uh, making people responsible for their actions. And one of the ways that you could drive accountability for me for people for their actions is giving them a chance to fix the problem that they created. So there are times that people make mistakes. If people owned up to it, then they give them a chance to fix it. Then that's a mess. That's an example of accountability. And of course, coaching is another positive approach to motivating people as a leader. Then align improvements with organizational goals. I think this is where people struggle every now and then. Um, discussing discussing the initiatives at the higher level. I think it the poll showed that, and getting upper management support to make sure that the maintenance initiative is aligned with the organization's goals. My experience tells me that it's always aligned. It's a matter of communicating. Remember earlier that we said that one of the core competency of a maintenance leader is communication. It's a matter of how you communicate the initiative towards the goals. And one of the it's a difficult discussion, especially when it comes to money, when you talk to your CFO, and how does that improve my bottom line when you want to fix an equipment, fix a boiler, fix a tank. Then that's something that is a matter of communication and being the maintenance leader, being able to correlate the improvement in reliability into a financial gain. Yeah, so those are the leadership roles. One of the things that also drives high performance teams in maintenance is training, mentoring, and knowledge transfer in maintenance. Training builds competence through OJT, simulations, workshop. Mentoring develops confidence, and also the mentor gets to know the people and provides his own journey, being the mentor. Knowledge transfer, say when you talk about upskilling, career succession, um, knowledge transfer is one of the things that maintenance leaders do. Um, enabling it, actually, you don't do the knowledge transfer, you enable the knowledge transfer to an even um, better way of doing things. No, so one of the things is procedures. You make sure there's a CMMS running, succession planning, um, toolbox talks. No, so those there's a lot of mechanisms for knowledge transfer, and of course, the combined impact of all this is an engaged and future-ready maintenance team. Um, Conflict resolution in multi-skilled maintenance teams. As I've mentioned, if you have a multi-skilled maintenance teams, that is probably a dream team for you. I was trying to create that in the refinery, but wasn't so successful. But a multi-skilled maintenance team is something that you would want in your organization. But having multi-skilled maintenance teams also creates a layer of problem, which is conflict because of role overlap, inconsistent priorities, and communication gaps. And of course, what you need to do is to resolve them, create a culture of collaboration, and of course, uh, and cross-training and team recognition. And of course, one of the most important things that is written here is psychological safety, that people are feel safe to speak up and be able to uh, share their ideas and thoughts without repercussions from the leader. Um, And what we want you to get out of this is that uh, conflict will never be eliminated, no. It will always be there, but channeled into stronger teams and more reliable assets if you have a if you have a multi-skilled uh, training team. Okay. So we started with team leadership, team management. Um, then we started with competency, then how leaders build high performance teams. Then the next one is about strategic leadership in maintenance management. So um, if you are a maintenance leader, you don't only engage with your workforce, your teams, your technicians. You also engage with your bosses, your leadership, your mancom, even probably to your CEO. It depends on the size of your organization. So strategic leadership is something that is necessary in maintenance management. There are four areas that you should be covering into strategic leadership in maintenance management. One is aligning maintenance goals with business objectives, um, championing new technologies, that's CMS, IoT, analytics, everything else that you can cover with letters probably. But uh, that's one of the things that are under the are in the plate of maintenance leaders nowadays. Um, Driving, depending on where you are from in your organization, one of the things that the maintenance leader does is moving from reactive to predictive maintenance. And mind you, if you are in a reactive maintenance, don't feel so bad about it. It's not necessarily a bad thing. There are equipment that are uh, really chosen or decided upon to be on reactive maintenance depending on the criticality of your equipment. So um, I think as a general statement, from reactive to predictive maintenance is just a path that everybody would want to take, but it's subject to the needs of your plant rather than needs of your equipment rather than a prescriptive statement that all of you have to be in predictive maintenance. And of course, budgeting and resource allocation, which is one of the most difficult uh, one of the most difficult tasks of a maintenance leader. Okay, sorry. Okay. So aligning maintenance goal with business objectives. So the roadmap is the business objectives is safety, efficiency, cost, sustainability, customer satisfaction. So that's all the nice things that a corporation would probably want. The maintenance goals is about preventive care, predictive tools, cost optimization, energy efficiency, and reliability focus. So um, if you're going to align this, of course, preventive care aligns with safety and efficiency, predictive tools, cost optimization aligns with cost, sustainability, and of course, reliability is about customer satisfaction. And of course, what this slide tells is that your KPIs should align with the maintenance goals, and the outcomes should be uh, maintenance as a strategic enabler of performance, profitability, and growth. Um, so in summary about this slide, it's about aligning maintenance goals with business objectives. Okay, so from predictive to okay. So this time I will give you a roadmap from reactive to predictive maintenance. Yeah, the stage one is the reactive, the firefighting mode. It talks about unplanned breakdowns, high downtime, excessive overtime. The focus is always to restore operations quickly as if you were in a crisis. And actions is your action is actually, if you're in a stage one, is you capture failure data and you track your emergency work orders. That is probably a route that you would probably take to understand where your unplanned breakdowns are. Then stage two is you want to move to preventive time-based maintenance, a monthly, a weekly inspection, a daily walkthrough of your plant. So scheduled maintenance tasks at fixed intervals, usually referring to OEM guidelines. Then you focus, you reduce failures through regular servicing, and your actions is you implement a CMMS, you develop PM checklists and standardized work instructions. The stage three is condition-based. Condition-based maintenance is about monitoring asset health before you do an intervention. The focus is, as we've said, is from the time-based, you go into more maturity. When you understand the equipment already, you go into servicing when the time is right. It says that when it's just about to break, or before the equipment goes into failure. And of course, what you could do is you install sensors, train technicians, then you integrate data into CMS. But stage three is a more advanced level of maintenance uh, as opposed to stage two. And um, not all equipment can be put into condition-based maintenance. Um, what we could say is that it depends upon the criticality of your equipment. There are equipment the mode of failure. No, you should do your RCM study before putting your equipment into a condition-based maintenance regime. Stage four is about predictive, no? Predictive maintenance, which is the trend nowadays, no? So based on the sensors that you have put into stage three, you get now data analytics and as a, artificial intelligence to predict failures before they occur. Then you focus on optimized uptime, reduced costs, and extended asset life. Uh, you deploy predictive platforms for use for failure modes, use ML for failure modes, and uh, integrate with planning when you do the intervention. And of course, the last five is stage five, reliability centered prescriptive. Um, it's fully aligned with business goals. You know when to take out the equipment so that it's for example, if you work in a refinery, the margins are low. If you work in a power plant, the demand is low. You will agree because you've seen something that the equipment needs to be taken out for maintenance. And the focus is actually proactive strategic decision making. And of course, the actions apply link to KPIs to business improvement and foster continuous improvement. The framework for budgeting and resource allocation in maintenance is about business objectives, budget priorities, resource allocation, and of course, an outcome, no? The lower downtime, optimize costs, and improve reliability and business continuity. So, in terms of priorities, the key leadership action that you need to take is that you prioritize the preventive and more critical assets over the corrective and more reactive maintenance. The the underlying thinking is that if you do your preventive maintenance properly, you will be able to avoid costly failures. Um, that holds true if you have the correct preventive maintenance activities. But if you don't have your correct preventive maintenance activity and your equipment, even if you are do PMs now already, you're doing PMs scheduled or condition based, and your equipment is still failing, then you are probably need to review your PM optimization activities. Okay. Okay, so vision for digital maintenance, no. From reactive to predictive, you enable reliability and efficiency, data-driven decision making as the new standard, and aligning maintenance with business performance. Yeah. So, okay. So the maintenance digitalization roadmap is actually the foundation. You improve first your CMMS, if you have one, or your enterprise asset management system. Then your connectivity, your Internet of Things sensors and your smart assets. Then of course you drive intelligence and analytics and predictive maintenance models. And of course you optimize your continuous improvement through data insights. That's the outcome of digitalization, your optimization. So before you get to optimization, you need to put in your correct foundations and your sensors and your intelligence processes so that you'll be able to optimize your maintenance roadmap. Okay, so unlocking the value of smart maintenance, no? So reduce downtime and maintenance costs, extended equipment lifespan, improve safety and reliability, and the action is probably you invest now. That's I've written it there because it's something sort of a trend, but I would say that investing in digital maintenance depends upon the situation of your plant and your financial capacity as an organization. So, but at the minimum, modern maintenance organizations would have a CMS or an enterprise asset management system. Okay. So, what are practical tools and frameworks that you could use to improve your leadership in the workshop floor? One is daily, weekly leadership routines, decision-making frameworks for priorities, and leadership checklist and dashboards. No, um, this is an example of a daily maintenance and weekly maintenance. Uh, it is not it doesn't refer to any equipment, but it's just an example of showing you how the difference between daily and weekly maintenance. This is an example of a corrective maintenance prioritization tool. If you don't have it, some organizations have it, some organizations don't. It helps people understand the criticality of the job. Not all corrective maintenance work are important or needs to be corrected already. There are corrective maintenance activity that could be done in 8 weeks, 12 weeks. But there are also corrective maintenance activity that needs to be addressed in the next 24 hours. So this is an example of a tool. Your organization might have it. If you don't, we could help you during the workshop to prepare one for yourself. Okay. Okay. Then, of course, this is an example of a maintenance leadership dashboard, an operational KPI, your MTTR, your MTBF, your schedule compliance, your planned versus unplanned work ratio, and of course, your leadership and team KPIs, no? As safety observations completed, training hours per technician, and of course, your overtime or percent of total hours, and depending on your target, your team engagement or satisfaction score. So those are tools. So having a weekly routine, um, a prioritization tool, and a leadership dashboard for as an example would help you start as a maintenance leader in any organization. Okay. So key takeaways, leadership essentials and recap. We are leaders, so not all leaders are. You don't need a formal title to be a leader. As we started with why it matters. It's because of accountability, motivation and culture, and of course, strategic decision making. High performance teams are built through uh, good conflict resolution, motivating and continuous improvement, uh, and um, uh, resolving knowledge transfer and mentoring and coaching. Okay. Then, of course, we talk about strategic maintenance, strategic leadership maintenance, strategic leadership in the maintenance organization. You talk about budget and resource allocation, digitalization, aligning business to goals to business, and of course, uh, key critical tools in your we talk about critical tools that you could use as for you as a maintenance leader. So there are a lot of resources for further learning. There are a lot of books that talks about world-class maintenance. You could listen to it or in a podcast, or you could buy it from Amazon or other resources. So you could do that. And so now let's open the Q&A session if there are questions.
All right, thank you, Sir Dondi. Any questions from the room? So you can simply raise your hand so we can call you, or pwede rin naman din po sa chat section. So let's see. Mhm.
Nahihiya sila.
Oo nga po eh. Siguro while waiting for questions din, baka they're still pondering po, no? Sir Dondi, if we were to improve our team's performance, where do we start as a maintenance leader?
Okay. If you improve to understand the first thing that you should do is understand your team's context. No, I think that is important. If you are a new maintenance leader and the team is already set up, you understand your team's context. How did the previous leader manage his or her team? And what were the good practices and the not so good practices that are prevailing in the team and their beliefs and convictions, no? So you need to understand that to be able uh, to chart a way forward. Then the second part is defining your goal as a leader. What do you want to achieve with that with that team as a leader in the next in the next 6 months perhaps, trying to understand what do you want them to achieve, no? Trying to give them an understanding of what do you want to achieve in the next 6 months. 6 months because it's a trial period for your relationship with your team and you as a leader. um, what you need to do is gain their trust first, that you are setting the right direction, and of course, show them how you are as a leader. And the third step that you should take is, once you're done with the 6 months, is you recalibrate your position and celebrate the successes that you have, no? And that would help you as really as a maintenance leader, because it will give you credibility to your team. Then that would improve also the morale of your team, because people would realize that they are aligned with their leaders, you know. people naturally wants to align with the leader. It's just that sometimes it's very difficult for them because there is no goal clarity, no. So um, giving a 6-month framework and a 6-month direction to the team on what needs to be achieved, short-term gains would help them. After that 6 month, then that's the time you build your long-term plan for the team. And now you have your team with you to build the plan. And it's easier to implement because they know you already and they will follow you. Thank you.
Sir, we have another one from Sir John. So, how do you motivate your subordinates when the issue is about salary and leadership conflict?
How do you motivate? Okay. One of the things that you do as a leadership in a leadership is one is um, you you have to understand that you cannot do anything much about salary because salary is a unless that you can influence it through an HR process, you cannot do much about it. Assuming that that your organization has gone through the job evaluation process and everything. So um, what you can do about your your team is give them recognition in other forms, no? What we did before, because we cannot influence salary, there was a year that there was no increase for the technicians. Was we give them a we gave them a recognition program for people, no? One of the things that we did was publicly recognize them as a technician of the year, innovator of the year. Then that gives them something, no? Non-monetary gain is the recognition that comes along with it. So you launch a program that would motivate people, give them a good goal, and then after launching a program, then probably you'll be able to motivate them in that perspective, no? So that's one. On the side of leadership conflict, if your mancom is the one that's in conflict, the role of the leader is to not to side to go sides with to take sides in the conflict. The role of the leader is to explain why the conflict is happening. No, conflict in leadership happens all the time, no, because there are differing views and perspectives about it, about how a company should be run. And of course, we are all humans. We have our own traits and values. So it does happen. What the role of the maintenance leader is not to side with them, but rather to explain to them why there is conflict that's happening. And one of the things that you could say to them is that after the conflict, hopefully we come out as a stronger company. Um, Conflict is not necessarily bad. It's just that it demoralizes a certain level of people because they think that the leadership is not unified. But um, lack of conflict doesn't also say that that the leadership is unified. Maybe they're indifferent to each other. So conflict is a good symptom. It's a good indication that the leadership is trying to work things out and making sure that they're moving forward towards a better organization or a better performance. Yeah.
Thanks, sir. We have new questions from Sir Jefferson and Ma'am Ritzel. So number three, sir, what kind of recognition or reward be given to motivate the team? I'm not sure if this also ties with number four. So how to motivate people to pass on knowledge and skills to other people aside from rewarding them. So two
Uh,
questions. Yeah.
what we did before was, for example, if it's safety related, Um, every small milestone that we have, we give the workers free lunch. So if you are a worker, you don't have it. It boosts a lot of. Uh, it's a good morale booster because you don't have to worry about your lunch while you're in a plant. We deliver lunch, we give them free lunch, and if there's a safety milestone that's achieved, then that's an example, no? Sometimes we give free T-shirts if there's a budget. Most of the time, there's not a lot of money, so we give those simple tokens so that people would feel that there's a milestone that's happening and there's an achievement that's happening. And even though those things are small, a free lunch or a free meal, um, it gives a boost a lot of morale. It is a good morale booster for people because they know that the leadership is looking after them. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So, thank you. So we have a few more. So, fifth is how do you balance the pressure of achieving production targets with the need to perform preventive maintenance and ensure long-term equipment reliability?
How do you balance? Okay. So uh, I would say it's not a balance, no. One of the things that we did with Shell was we created a 52-week work program. The 52 week work program talks about the preventive maintenance that will be happening with the plant for the next year. And that 52-week work program is aligned with the operations group, with the operations team of the organization. And aligning that allowed us to work out on the production highs and lows and the production interventions that we need to do. So so um, it's not about balancing pressure. It's more about aligning the it's more about aligning the organization on when you need to do maintenance. Um, Another example is for us for when we were in the refinery, it was about tank maintenance. It has always been said that the tanks can be constrained. It can only be open one type of tank per product per because we don't have a lot of tanks there. But we were able to open about 10 tanks at any given time. Um, it's about it's always about aligning objectives and making sure that the operations people understand the objectives of maintenance, that it's for their purpose as well. Yeah. And it's for their reliability and continuous production as well. Not just because we want to take things out for an inspection or for a repair. Yeah. Thank you.
Sir, we're getting a lot of questions. So, number six, what are your experience on giving a PIP to your team and firing or keeping them after they overcome it?
What are your experiences? I have a lot. The PIP is always, and I have always considered it as a last resort to managing performance. What I would prefer is coaching and mentoring, and it's more of I'm more of a coach on how to improve their how I would how to improve their performance. And what is important is you catch early the underperformance, not not at a later stage where everything is falling apart. So the key here is catching the underperformance early enough so that you will be able to uh, you will be able to address the underperformance through coaching. Okay, so let's move on to PIP. So PIP is a performance improvement plan. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not like a notice to explain or a show cause memo. A performance improvement plan is something that you use to improve performance, as the PIP says. Uh, it's a good thing because um, you just have to want to the person that you are coaching with the PIP to succeed. I think it's all about intents. Do you want him or her to fail, or do you want him or her to succeed? So I think I always start on the perspective that I want that person to succeed. And after making that choice, we usually overcome it and build our relationship. I think that's the most difficult part of putting somebody in PIP is you destroy relationships. But you rebuild your relationship by making them sure that going through the PIP is them you wanting them to succeed, not necessarily wanting to fire them.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, meron po siguro tayong last three questions. Okay, okay lang po ba yun, Sir Dondi, na
Sure,
ano,
sure.
yeah. Some of the questions naman po we can um get on offline. Dun lang tayo sa, I think not yet covered yung seventh. Is it required for a leader to invest in their subordinates or use their personal money just to keep them motivated?
Uh, oh, uh, no, not necessarily. You When you say a leader invest in their subordinates, you invest your time, your effort, but not necessarily your personal money, because the money that you should use to invest on your subordinate should be coming from the company, because your company works you work for an organization that is supposed to be making money. So no, you don't need to use your personal money to keep people motivated, but you need to invest time and effort to keep people motivated, and that is the resource that you're going to put in. Mm. Okay.
Okay, so number eight, how can we improve and strengthen collaboration between maintenance team, operations, and engineering to maximize DT of equipment?
Downtime. Okay. I would suppose this is to minimize downtime, no? Or it's minimize, no, rather than maximize. Um, the first one, I think we go back to the lecture, no? The lectures talks about alignment, no? Um, the maintenance leader is the one that has the obligation to align operations and engineering about it. I would understand engineering if you're talking about assurance processes. They would want a bigger scope than what maintenance would want to do. And operations would want a shorter time frame than maintenance would need to do for the bigger scope that engineering is asking for. So alignment of objectives is critical. So for example, no, um, before we do patchwork for tanks, then because maintenance wants to save on cost, uh, engineering wants to have a bigger scope, but maintenance wants to save on cost, and operations wants to get the tank back faster. So what we do is we do patchwork on the tanks. But later we realize that along the way, um, patchwork is more expensive than than a than rebuilding the floor of the tank, for example. And it's more expensive because engineering wouldn't give you a longer inspection interval. They would say that instead of 20 years, we will inspect it again in 10 years. Then your cleaning activities and everything that falls in between doubles. So, so we realize it's more expensive. Then we start getting our acts together and saying that we want the view of a longer term view that we get the tank for about 20 years so that we could get out of this backlog. And operations agreed to that. So it's about alignment and understanding data and understanding what really is on the table when you talk about downtime. So um, you don't necessarily have to minimize downtime. You don't have necessarily to maximize it. It's finding the balance of downtime with the benefits of a longer term performing asset. No, okay.
And next question, sir. What's the best practice in ensuring maintenance culture in the plant is being observed and followed?
Um, okay. When you talk about maintenance culture, um, you look at your metrics and you look at your PM compliance and your preventive maintenance compliance and corrective maintenance attainment. If you're doing well with your PM compliance such that you are in the high 90s, that's a good indication that your maintenance team is performing well. You could also look at your reliability kasi if your reliability scores are high, uh, you could say that's also a result of having good PMs, no? But it's a result of actually reliability is actually the result of a good maintenance strategy, while PM compliance is a result of a good maintenance execution environment. So look at your PM compliance and probably that would give you a story of how you look at your maintenance culture.
Yes. And lastly, sir, as a leader, when is the right time to leave the company?
Oh my. Oh my. Okay. Hirap na tanong si Jan Okay.
Yeah, last
Um,
question na po.
okay. The as a leader, it's the right time when your personal, I would say, this is my personal take on this, not necessarily a a an organizational wide theory from a maintenance book. I would say is that if your personal values don't align anymore with the values of the organization, then it's time to leave as a leader because you cannot lead people when your personal values, when you yourself don't believe in what you are leading for. So, yun. So, when your personal values do not align anymore, then it's time to leave.
Thank you po, Sir Dondi, and for everyone in participating in this question and answer. So, with that said, as mentioned earlier, if ever you do have any other questions, let us know so we can schedule a meeting afterwards, and our team is ready to assist. So, just a few more announcements, and please do scan this QR code for our post evaluation survey. So we will use this the names you input here for your certificate of participation. Okay. Konting announcement lang po, so do bear with me. So this webinar is a preview of our upcoming master class on maintenance management on November 17 to 21. It is a 5-day intensive course with our trainer who is none other than Sir Don Diden himself. So if you are interested to know more about the topic, do let us know and we can set a schedule for a discovery call with you. So we are on our last call for enrollees or registration for this November November course, and our public class schedule is also posted here. You can also check our social media pages for updates on this. Okay, next, we would also like to invite you to a one-day executive summit on November 18th at SEDA BGC Taguig. This is the third APM Lead Executive Summit, and it will highlight how integrated thinking across finance and operations drives long-term asset value from acquisition to renewal, with plenary sessions and use case presentations focused on asset lifecycle management, MRO strategies, warehouse optimization, maintenance and reliability, and sustainability. The summit offers strategic insights and practical ideas to improve total cost of ownership, reduce risk, and align capital with operational goals. So, 1 month na lang po, tickets are out now, get yours, and since there are only limited seats for this executive summit. Thirdly, please follow and subscribe on our social media pages to get updates and notifications on our upcoming events and latest news. We are on LinkedIn and Facebook for both ERS, OPC, and APM lead updates. So we also have our YouTube channel where you can replay event highlights we have done in the past. All our executive summits, conference and exhibitions, and webinars are there. Okay, so lastly, thank you everyone for joining us in today's webinar. Big thanks po ulit kay Sir Dondi for sharing this knowledge with us on this very special day. Happy birthday po kay Sir Dondi. So we wish you good health, long life, and continued success in all that you do. O, diba? So happy birthday, Sir Dondi.
Thank you.
Yes. And on this note, we would like to present to you this certificate of appreciation. So this certificate of appreciation is awarded to Rolando Paulino III in recognition of his outstanding contribution as a speaker in the Leadership in Maintenance Building Effective Leadership in Maintenance Teams webinar. His dedication, expertise, and commitment to the task at hand were instrumental in ensuring the success of the event. Given this 15th day of October, signed by our president, Mr. Erwin D. Bernal. Thank you once again, Sir Dondi. Yeah. So and for everyone participating in this webinar, let's give ourselves po a big virtual round of applause. Yeah. Ayan, thank you po.